Welcome back everyone, my name's Eltimar and we are going to be continuing our Let's Play of Shadowrun Hong Kong. I'm going to really quickly grab our money from our workstation, check our inbox for new messages. We have 3 of them. A video about those dreams. Goblet's face winks onto the screen. Rats are perched precariously on her head, and she holds a laser pointer clutched between her thumb and forefinger. Oh hey Seattle, I hope I didn't catch you at a bad time. She flicks the laser pointer, and her rat's head swivel to the right to follow the motion. Why did I just say that? This is a recording. It doesn't matter if it's a bad time. Well, anyway, I was thinking about that talk that we had. You know, the dream talk about nightmares and stuff. Another flick of the pointer. The rats' heads turn left. Their noses twitching. I've got a friend here in town. She runs the Parlor of 5 Phases. It's sort of our local magic shop and talismonger. Name's Crafty. Click. The rats' heads turn upward to stare at the ceiling. Anyway, she's smart. Real smart. Her mom was sort of a local authority on all things magical. And the apple doesn't fall far from the tree. If you wanted to ask anyone in town about these dreams, she'd be the right one to choose. She taps a button on the laser pointer with her thumb, and the little red dot, and the tip goes dark. The rats immediately tackle one another, rolling off her head and falling out of sight. She gets up, her head rising out of frame. Anyway, just thought it might help. If you've already been talking to Crafty, please disregard this message. Alright, I'm out. Peace. She punches a button and the screen goes dark. A party from kindly Cheng. Eltimar, I need you to come to the parlor. A friend and business partner of mine, named Dr. Shen Yang, has need of your services. Something about attending a fancy party in Repulse Bay. He was unwilling to give me the details. I think he wanted to size you up for himself. Raymond Black's history. From Isabel. Duncan asked me to do some digging on my own into Raymond's history. I guess he doesn't trust kindly Cheng to give him the full story. Can't say I blame him since she hides things from us, if it was in our best interest to do so. So I've been poking around in various corners of the Matrix, trying to dig up what I can. Most sinners leave a data trail the size of an aircraft carrier in their wake. Working backward in time, Raymond starts out that way, but it slowly tapers away into nothingness. Sure, I can find some basic records in Seattle, power, utilities, a couple of public discussion sites he signed up for, but the further back I get, the less I find. And the craziest part is, prior to 2032, I can't find anything at all. And that shouldn't be possible. It's like Raymond didn't exist before then. I don't know, I'm gonna keep digging, but it'll take me a while. I'll let you know when I get some news worth sharing. Isabel. Alright. Jobs directory? Claim payment for the Wuxing sabotage run. You submit the job as finished and await the response. A few minutes later, a message pops onto the screen. From kindly Cheng. A little bird whispered in my ear that Wuxing's fortunes are already falling. Their stock value dropped by 2% already. The client finds this to be an acceptable indication of your success and has forwarded payment. I've attached your cut to this email. $2,200 dues. Let's go quickly take a look at the cyberpunk place? You know the place. Cyberware place, that's the word I'm going for. It's really early, guys. I'm sleepy still. I'm waking up. Don't worry, we're gonna rally here. I also have an energy drink to get me through. We're going into Chrome Alley. Do you have a monofilament whip yet? That's really all I want. Blades? No, it doesn't look like it. I'm very disappointed by this. Although, let's see what else we have here. There might be something worthwhile. +1 quickness +1 quickness +1 range combat arm essence 3 is pretty damn good. They're very expensive, but they're really gonna help us. Wait, where does monofilament whips go? There must be a cyber weapon. So I'm gonna put one of these on this arm and get some quickness range combat skill. We're gonna lose some essence. 0.25 essence to be exact, it looks like. My screen just went black when I confirmed that. There we go. What else do we have? So we have one of those. I think that's like BioWare. +1 quickness, +1 range is pretty damn good though. We can also get some leg ones which are +1 quickness but 6 HP. Not as important. Passive +1 armor is kind of worthless for us. I'm only waiting for the other arm because I want to make sure that we have enough money for the monofilament whip when it comes into play. So there, now we have an extra +1 range combat, +1 quickness. It's almost like we put that level that we just got into those skills, but not quite. Alright, we were supposed to go to the Parlor of 5 Winds, and then also go meet up with kindly Cheng for her optional side quest mission. That's the drone guy, Maximum Law. That's just a sailor with a... What? Just conversation paths. 3 people, possibly locals, are busily hunched over, avidly discussing something beneath their breath. From the looks of them, they appear to be sailors, rough-hewn clothes, stained by salt, leathery skin, and an acute awareness of being on land. You watch their feet shuffle awkwardly on the docks. Their whispers are just within earshot. Nah, I asked Crafty and she said the same. Them dreams is bad. Think we'll lose them at sea? We're supposed to set out soon to make that delivery. What if they follow us? You see the man shudder. I don't think so. Crafty said these things is just affecting right here for now. The first sailor points to the ground. As soon as we sail, the dreams will stop. Hey! The third sailor sees you and taps his friends on their arms. They shoot upright. One examines his fingernails, another coughs loudly and begins to hum, and the last pretends she didn't see you, but when they sense your continued stare, the third speaks up. What are you looking at, Landy? There was a boat here with a merchant selling goods not long ago. Will you leave? The 3 sailors' suspicions turn into smirks. One snickers to herself. Merchant, he says. That crook didn't so much as leave, as he was chased off by Kindly. No sales permit, no big loss, though. The local shops have way better stuff than that small-time hustler. You don't look around. Or why don't you look around? You'll find the shop owners here more friendly toward you now that you've gotten the okay from Kindly. Thanks. I overheard you talking about the dreams. I've had them too. You feel an uneasiness pass through the sailors. Seems anyone who comes by these parts is having them. And as soon as they leave, the dreams stop. Right eerie it is. Any leads on why they're happening? We don't know much ourselves. We've only just returned from our last delivery, but the dreams ambushed us fast enough. Hey, what about that Crafty? The sailor turns to you. She runs the 5 phases. Smart girl. Might know a thing or two about this blight. You ask her, she might have something more to say. Didn't mean to interrupt. See you around. The brooding tide of whispers resumes as your back turns to the sailors. Who is Jin? As you approach the small landing, you see 3 men, 2 elders and a younger man, hunched over a go-board. The juxtaposition of the 2 white-haired, white-bearded men and the black-haired man is almost comical. Together the 3 resemble the small black and white stones of their game. Despite the variety of ambient distractions, the 3 men remained acutely focused on the game. One of the elders, a round-faced man with a beatific smile, carefully picks up a black stone and places it on the board. His opponent snorts, and a small smile flashes across his long face. Almost carelessly, he snatches a white stone and deposits it on the board. The smiling man groans, and the long-faced one proceeds to collect several black pieces off the board. Ah, you got me there, Jin. He laughs, a pleasant full sound. As it trails off, he spots you watching the game. A broad smile brightens his cheek. Why, hello there, young man. Something you need? The long-faced man gives you a cursory look and continues to collect black stones. Just a gawker, Shiu. It's your turn. Name's Eltimar. Got a second or two to answer a question? Shiu nods. Could use a short break. How about you, Jin? Jin sighs, shoulders slipping forward. After a moment of scowling, he reluctantly speaks. Fine, a short break. The 2 elders turn towards the younger man. He looks to be in his early 30s, but it's difficult to tell. The skin on his face is smooth and supple, with only the suggestions of creases at the eye, mouth, and forehead. With small gestures, a blink, a flare of his nostrils, briefly reveal the lines of his face. The man's eyes rise from the go-board and study the elders. He nods. Been hearing about strange dreams here in Hayoi. Have you had any nightmares recently? The 3 men exchange looks. Shiu turns to you. What a coincidence. Wasn't but an hour ago that we were all discussing that very thing. We have been having bad dreams, every one of us. Mind sharing? Jin shakes his head and crosses his arms. What makes you think we'd be comfortable sharing our dreams with a complete stranger? Seems like a good way to get ourselves in trouble, especially with what you kids can do with that matrix you all love so much. He turns his head and pretends to spit. Pah! Shiu waves his hand dismissively at Jin. Don't mind him, he's always been a poor sport. But he raises a good point. Some of our dreams contain information best left private. Just as yours do, I'm sure. Having just met, how can we be sure you'll respect our personal information? I'll tell you. The younger man's voice cuts through the din like a razor, and the elders fall silent. He turns to you and he locks his eyes, dark orbs that burn with piercing scrutiny, onto yours. He nods and turns his gaze towards the go-board. I believe you're trustworthy, Eltimar. Please, make yourself comfortable and I'll share my dream with you. I appreciate it. Go ahead. He exhales slowly, then begins to speak. I dreamed of a long, dingy hall. When faced with such a thing, one generally walks its length. So I lifted my right foot and placed it in front of me, but upon taking that first step, I found myself instead drawn down an alleyway to my left. It wasn't there before, this alley. It appeared only as I began to walk. As I moved down the alley, I found myself surrounded by friends and loved ones. They all stood there silently watching me with smiles on their faces, and as I passed each one of them, they fell to the ground in my wake, dropping like puppets with severed strings. Somehow, I knew that if I followed this road to the end, I could have everything I'd ever dreamed of, but I woke before I could reach it. He folds his hands in his lap. There's a moment of silence before Shiyu speaks. Up, the rosiness in his cheeks having drained away, I too sought the long hall. My experience was different, however. The hall was far off in the distance, and I was looking down on it from a strange angle, as though I was perched on a wall high above. He pauses and looks at you. You know, young man, Eltimar, you look very much like the person I saw walking that hall. He moves steadily down the path, walking an even pace, and just behind him a great and terrible shadow followed. Of course I didn't have the best view up there on that wall, or wherever I was. It could have been anyone. Perhaps this old mind of mine is seeing your face now and misremembering the dream. He lets out a chuckle, and a small flush of red returns to his cheeks. He looks over at Jin. Alright, Jin, go ahead. Jin broods in his corner, arms crossed and jaws set. I've changed my mind. I don't want to share my dream. Nonsense, Master Lao and I both told him our dreams, and now it's your turn. Jin sticks out his lower lip. No. It's fine. You don't have to tell me if you don't want to. He holds his palm up towards you and looks to Shiyu. See? Straight from the horse's mouth. I don't have to. Jin? Lao's voice is firm but soft. This is important. Jin's mouth opens and closes like a gaping fish, but as he looks at Lao, his body relaxes, and a sadness seems to take hold of his features. Alright, but don't you go repeating any of this, you hear me? He takes in a deep breath and slowly releases it, folds his hands in his lap. My dream begins as a nightmare. I dreamed of my failures and mistakes that I've made throughout my life. The people I've let down, the competitors I've crushed, the wife who died in hospice without me. I dreamed of the family that I abandoned. A change comes over him, his eyes brighten and he continues energetically. But then I dreamed of the walled city. I stood before it, and its door opened to me, and when I passed inside, all my guilt fell away. It was as though the city had absolved me. I washed away my guilt, and I remember feeling happy. As his remembrance ends, so does his lightened mood. His face shrinks into a pout, and he stares grumpily at the ground. There, I did it, you happy? Lao nods slowly. Thank you, Jin. You have my thanks too. Yeah, now can we change the subject? My ulcer's acting up. I'm guessing you've been around these parts longer than I have. Is this sort of thing normal? If it were normal, we wouldn't be huddled around discussing them in whispers now, would we? Enough of that, Jin. Eltimar here asked in earnest for our advice. He deserves a proper response. Shiyu gives you a gentle smile. Please forgive our friend Eltimar. Bitter years have left him suspicious of others. The answer to your question is no. Upsetting dreams have never been uncommon in Hoi, but these recent visitations have been different. They've been darker, more vivid, stronger than normal dreams. Last night I felt consumed by the sense that something was coming. While my friends here felt a sense of relief and excitement as their dreams ended, I felt as though I was sitting on the precipice of some vast, terrible chasm, with the void yawning beneath my feet. Suddenly his cheeks flush, he blinks twice, then looks away. But perhaps these are just the ramblings of an old man. Please forgive me. He scratches his nose, embarrassed. You speak wisely, Shiyu. It's a foolish thing to embrace, or it is foolish to embrace a thing that you do not understand. What Jin and I saw in our dreams was alluring, but so is the light to a moth. Your instincts are strong and sharp, my old friend. It's wise of you to trust them. Shiyu bows deeply, his eyes to the ground. Thank you. I can only hope these dreams do lead to something beautiful. There's already enough deception in this world. Jin groans loudly. Can we get back to the game now? I don't want to keep you. Of course, stop by sometime soon, Eltimar. Your company has been refreshing. Thanks, good luck with your game. And we are off. We're out and about. Reliable Matthew. What is... Oh, he drones, right? I don't want drones. I'm good without them. We need to find this magic shop. I'm just gonna walk into the ocean. Nope, okay. If I were a magic shop... I'm sleepy. I should not have woken up so early. That's the Techno Palace. That is the station. That's Club 88. That's the weapon shop, basically. This is the monk guy. We're just looting the... Oh, there it is. Parlor of the 5 phases. Perfect. And Crafty Zoo is here. I think it's Crafty Zoo, probably, but whatever. A mild scent, sweet and slightly herbal, is the first thing you notice upon entering the shop. Its quarters are cramped, made smaller by the display cases and furniture packed inside. The walls are lined with bookshelves, and the tables and chairs are stacked with old tomes. A few titles jump out at you: Lucid Dreaming, An Exploration of the Inner Self, Dream Logic, Nocturnal Visitations. Overall, the place feels lived in, if disorganized, not quite cluttered, but close. Milling at the front of the store is the shopkeeper, lost in a book of her own. She's tall for a human, probably close to 2 meters in height. Her physique is typical bookworm, not overweight, but you can't see any muscular definition either. A wraparound tattoo covers her upper arms and shoulders. From where you're standing, you can't quite make it out. She fidgets gradually, her eyes rise from the book and lock onto you. Welcome. Don't believe I've seen you before. She sets down her book and sweeps the strand of black and pink hair behind her ear. Name's Crafty. Eltimar, nice to meet you. She shakes your hand. Her grip is surprisingly firm. So Eltimar, what can I do for you? I got spells, alchemical reagents, foci, whatever you want. Really? Might have to do some digging to find it, but if it's magical, it's around here somewhere. Say, Crafty, have you had any vivid dreams lately? Her face is unreadable. Her eyes lock onto yours. As a matter of fact, I have, Eltimar, but we all get the occasional vivid dream. Nothing special there. I gesture to the books on the tabletop. Really? Then why are you reading up on them? She flicks her wrist dismissively. Sure, it's a little weird that we're having them, but these types of dreams are common in the walled city. Nothing to get worked up about, probably. They're common? Explain. She nods. Common as the cold. My mother devoted her life to researching the walled city and the magical phenomena within it. So I grew up with stories about the city, the recurrent creepy dreams being one of them. I've never been inside the walled city myself, but my mom went in pretty regularly and experienced the dreams. Where's your mom now? Dead. She shrugs. Mom was interesting, but not praiseworthy. What else do you know about the walled city? Very little, just that my mother spent most of her time in there and she shifts her weight, leans on the counter. Well, it messed her up. Is there something specific you want to know about? I want to know about the people who live there. Walled city residents tend to fall into 2 groups. Those who are threats and those who are threatened. You're either hunting or hiding. Life is harsh. Most people never get out. Now, there's a whole library here that just so happens to be the foremost location for a walled city texts. I'm sure you can fill in the blanks. I get the feeling that your relationship with your mother was unusual. You better believe it, she was obsessed with the walled city. Put it before everyone in her life. Mom ate, slept, and breathed the city. Was something fueling her obsession? Crafty shifts her gaze back to a stack of books on the nearby table. Yeah, actually. Mom was convinced that something was wrong with the place, that it was cursed in some way, polluted with unnaturally bad ki. She'd visit the city under the protection of the Yellow Lotus, spend hours, sometimes days, studying it. Crafty tears her eyes away from the books and returns her gaze to you. Mother was consumed by her research. Did she find out anything? She sure tried. Mom thought she could find a way to purify the place and exorcise its demons. Her obsession with the walled city grew, and she devoted more and more of her life to breaking its curse. Wish I could say she fell off the radar, but really the rest of the world fell off hers. I'm sorry, Crafty, that must have been hard for you. It is what it is, and here I am. She gives us a warm smile. Can I ask you something about the dreams? She nods. Go ahead. Why do you think they're affecting people outside the walled city? It's definitely strange. Until now, I always thought the dreams were nonsense, that my mother just had night terrors because of her madness. She props her chin up with her right hand. But now it's really happening, and not just to me, but others around Heioi. Those same psychic forces that drove Mom insane are edging into our subconscious. Lately I've been wondering if there might be something to her ravings. Maybe. I've been skeptical for so long. It almost feels blasphemous to consider it. Maybe the walled city's curse is real. I just don't know. Maybe you can learn something from your mom's journals. That's true, but my mother's notes are scattered all over the shop. Most of her research is scrawled in the margins of the books that you see on the shelves, and piles and stacks all over. The clues we need to figure this thing out could be in any one of those volumes, and there are thousands of them. I have a bad feeling about these dreams, Crafty. If there's anything we can do to get to the bottom of them, we need to take that opportunity. She sighs, straightens up. Yeah, I know what I have to do. It's just, damn, look at them all. She tiredly looks down at the books she was reading earlier. Guess I won't be finishing this one anytime soon. Alright, Eltimar, I'm gonna get started. Now. But it'll take time. The House of the Five Phases is jammed from floor to ceiling with books, and any one of them could hold valuable information. Check in once in a while. I'll share my findings with you. Sure thing, keep me updated. She clucks her tongue and points a finger at you. Will do. What do you got for stuff? Just spells. We don't use spells. Thanks, Crafty. Bye. Actually, wait. Tell me about yourself, Crafty, before I go. Oh, I guess that's it. We jumped out of the conversation and now we can't go back. Bummer. Oh well, we'll ask her about herself later. I'm sure it'll come up again. Let's go talk to Kindly, get our next mission, and then we'll call it a video, probably. We need to go get paid more monies. I did click on the door, didn't I? I guess. Now it worked. Kindly Cheng appears to be nearing the end of a harsh exchange with Strangler Bao, who is listening intently. So you tell that little pustule that Auntie Cheng isn't fucking happy, you got that? Not happy at all. Don't tell him I'm displeased. Don't tell him that I didn't take it well. She slams her shot glass onto the table. Tell him I'm extremely chopping mad. Extremity chopping mad. And if he doesn't want what happened to Yi to happen to him, he better get his head and his ass wired together and give me that payment today. She raises an eyebrow. Was that message clear enough, Mr. Bao? Yes, Miss Cheng. I'll explain things to him in terms he can understand. Bao steps back and becomes a meat statue once again. Cheng's voice turns treacle-sweet when she sees you waiting for her. Ah, our newly minted Shadowrunner. How are you taking her to your new role, Eltimar? So far, so good. I had no doubt, my sweet. I have a nose for talent, and how's Mr. Gunshow doing with his new life? He should be okay, just need some time to get used to all this. Very good, my dear. Very good. Was there something specific you came to see me about? Just checking in, Auntie. Pays to stay in touch. I agree, yes. Personal contact gets results. I have some news for you. One of my people successfully planted a wiretap on the police's special duties unit. If news of your foster father or plastic face man reaches them, it will reach me as well. So far your foster father has proven a difficult man to find, and the plastic face man is elusive. He's clearly somebody who knows how to stay out of the public eye. But I have my network running working day and night. I have my whatever. And I still have some favors that I can call in if need be. We'll find them both. It's only a matter of time. Until then, go about your business. I'm sure that more work will come your way any moment. She glances back at Bao. Now I have some pressing business to attend to. The kind that ends in parentless children. I'll talk to you later. Didn't we have to talk to her about some guy? Oh, Dr. Shenyang. He's right there. I see. A rotund, balding dwarf in a cheap suit turns to face you. Light glints from the heavy gold chains that hang around his neck. When he speaks, the voice that greets your ears is high and nasal. It has been contorted into a rough approximation of a New York accent. Pleased to meet you. Cheng was kind enough to arrange this little sit-down between us. He extends a slab-like hand for you to shake. You can call me Dr. Shenyang. Pleased to meet you. I'm Eltimar. His grip is as soft as his palm is moist. It's like shaking hands with a boneless ham. That's actually kind of funny. You share a long, uncomfortably flaccid handshake before he finally releases you. I've been looking for a little outside help on a problem I've been having. Ordinarily I'd handle it myself or have some of my friends see to it, but it's kind of delicate, you know? My guys will be noticed before they made any headway on the problem, so I figure, hey, I hire contractors all the time. Might as well get some contractors of a different stripe. Tell me about it. I run a little film studio, Southern Crown Films. We mostly do trade work, but we record some sims too. Maybe you've seen some of my stuff. Space Mongols from the Moon, Flavor of the Pomegranates, Ultimate Kill Squid. No, but I like the sound of Ultimate Kill Squad. How much killing do they do? Oh, squad, not squid. He offers you a chopped-tooth grin. A lot. There's this one scene where two trolls gang up on an elf and they, well, I don't want to spoil it, but believe me, it's glorious. I'll send a copy over to Cheng so that you can take a look. Anyway, there's this other guy in the industry and we've been butting heads since day one. Name's Neville Ma. He runs the Yellow Spring Studios. No matter what I do, I can't shut him out of the biz. He always manages to get one over on me and steal my stars. He's been running me into the ground with this show called Promises in Moonlight. The star's a girl named Penelope Wong. New talent, but the viewers have been going nuts over her. She's the show's linchpin. Hang on, I'm getting there. About 6 months ago, Neville was out in Guangzhou for some hoity-toity party. He's on the road now, probably drunk. A semi comes out of nowhere, and pow, wrecks his fancy new Eurocar Westwind. Bad luck for Neville, good luck for me. I figure, hey, that's the end of him for the year, and I start planning some new stuff he can't compete with from inside a hospital. You follow me so far? Let me guess, he found a way to compete with you from the hospital. No, worse, the bastard is out of the hospital. He's back in the game, bringing out Season 2 of Promises in Moonlight. I need that show off the air, one way or another, and that, my friend, is where you come in. How long did it take for him to recuperate? I tell you, kid, he should have been in that hospital for at least 3 months, and in physical therapy a lot longer. Only took him a week to get out. Couldn't freaking believe it. That kind of medical care costs top dollar. He's got a lot of money, but not that much. Recovery time like that means one of two things going on. Neville could have found himself a silent partner, someone willing to pay him top dollar for cutting-edge care. I don't think it's likely, but it could have happened. If it ain't that, the smart money says he's been skimming off the top of Yellow Spring's earnings and not reporting it to the shareholders. Tell me how I fit into this. I need you to go find something to blackmail Neville with. Find out how he could afford to get out of the hospital so fast. He works out of his penthouse most days, so search his computer, socks, drawer, closet, whatever. There's gonna be something incriminating in there. Where is it? Neville lives in Repulse Bay. It's this real swanky joint on the south end of Hong Kong Island by the bay with the same name. I haven't been able to get anyone in to poke around his apartment because security is too tight. Luckily for you, though, Neville's throwing a party on the mezzanine level. With all the shops and the restaurant and balcony and such, he's celebrating the second season launch of his show, and everybody's gonna be there, gonna make real snarl for the building's security. You also might want to hit up the party if you can bluff your way in. Everyone close to Neville will be there, and most of them will be 3 sheets to the wind by the time you get there. Some discreet questioning and might get me the dirt that I need. Just remember, if you go to the party, don't use your real name. Go with Argyle. Should be safe enough that nobody in the biz out there with that name, so... Oh, sorry. Should be safe enough. There's nobody in the biz out there with that name, so nobody will ask questions about how your work's going. Hit the apartment, hit the party, dig up blackmail. Information on Neville Ma sounds easy enough. He nods vigorously. Oh yeah, Cheng talked you up when I approached her with the job, given what she told me this job should be cake. Now the blackmail material is what I need more than anything, but if you can get Penelope Wong out of her contract, I'll pay you extra, got it? I want that star power on my side. One last thing, I don't want you starting a scene while you're there. You interrupt his party, making a mess or trash his apartment, and not paying you. We clear on that? Why the concern? If you're gonna hamstring me before I even go on the run, I want to know why. Because it's gauche. I can't have Ma knowing I'm after him. In my business, everyone's got dirty tricks, but if you make it public you're using them... Mr. Shen Yang draws a finger across his throat. That's it, my career's as dead as the People's Republic of China. No one will work with me or for me ever again, so don't embarrass me, eh? Understood, I'll be discreet. That's what I like to hear. You scratch my back, I scratch yours. You can get paid, I'll put the word in that you're a solid hire. You don't seem like you deal with Shadowrunners much. Shadowrunners, Moonlight Prancers, who gives a crap? I got money and a job, and I don't care who does it as long as the price is right. What's more, I got a lot of friends around town, and a lot of them run in your circles too. He looks at you, eagerness in his eyes. So what, we got a deal? You gonna do it? Yeah. His grin widens. Good man, that's what I like to hear. When you're done, drop Cheng a line. I'll come back and meet you here, and I'll hand over the money. If you don't hand over the money, I'm going to murder you. So hard. Because you're kind of a dick and I don't like you. Who's Handsome Lee? It's muggy out, even for Heioi in monsoon season. You pause to mop your brow, suddenly feel eyes upon you. As you glance up, you meet the tranquil, searching gaze of a man half hidden in the shadows. He's wearing a crisp white tailored suit, shirt sleeves neatly rolled, with a dark gray silk tie, and smart black trousers. If he's sweating, you don't see him. The man tilts his head ever so slightly in greeting. A newcomer, welcome. Oh, he's a drug dealer. Never mind. I understand now. I got it. Alright, so in the next video, we're going to go into the next mission. Maybe we'll do this party dropping one. We'll see. Anyways, we'll call it here, though. Like always, if you have any suggestions or comments, please let them below. Take care. See you all next time.